Hello and welcome to ROBO Global's Q1 2019 Investor Call. I'm Richard Lightbound, based in London with ROBO Global. In terms of our agenda today, we will firstly look at Q1 performance and trends, and certainly compared to Q4 of 2018. We had a spectacularly positive quarter, as you will see. Secondly, we rebalance our index quarterly, which is when we reset our two-tier equal weighting strategy. But also very importantly, it's when we make changes to index members, and this included in Q1 actually introducing several Chinese companies. And then finally, we remain very focused at ROBO Global in identifying, understanding new technologies that are really impacting the world of robotics, automation, and AI. And 5G is a very good example, as we will very quickly be discussing. So on the call today, I'm joined by two of my colleagues, Jeremy Capron and Lisa Chai from the ROBO Global research team. Jeremy and Lisa are both based in New York and are both going to be speaking today. Before I hand over, as a quick recap, ROBO Global is a research and investment advisory firm. For over 5 years now, we've been researching robotics, automation, and AI companies across the globe. Our partners have well over $3 billion of AUM tracking our investment strategies. And I think what's always been very unique about ROBO Global is how we've incorporated 200 years of entrepreneurial and real industry expertise into our processes. So with that, I will hand over to Jeremy.
Thank you, Richard, and hello, everyone. I want to start by talking about what we saw in the first quarter of 2019. Global equities clearly coming back after suffering their worst quarterly decline since the financial crisis hit in 2008. And the ROBO Index was no exception, but it did rally stronger than broad market indices. And the total return so far this year is just around 27%, with 18% in the first quarter. So basically, the ROBO Index has delivered total returns that exceed global equities by more than 50% in Q1, but also in the past 3 years, with annualized returns of just under 17%. And as shown on this chart and the table, you can see the outperformance against the World Equity Index has been significant over longer periods of time. The index was launched in 2013 and has more than 5 years of history. And for the periods prior to 2013, you can see the returns are actually backtested on this chart. Now, in terms of the main drivers for this equity rally in Q1, I think first and foremost, that was the complete pivot in terms of monetary policy led by the Fed in the U.S., clearly indicating the end of the tightening cycle. But we also saw early signs of a turn in China credit growth after nearly 3 years of slowdown trends. And finally, the de-escalation of political risk around the U.S.-China trade. The rebound was also fueled by the wave of institutional investors who stepped back into stocks after an overdone sell-off in Q4. And in fact, 3 months ago, we had highlighted here the opportunity presented by the extreme valuation levels that were reached in the month of December, when the best-in-class robotics, automation, and AI stocks were trading on the lowest median PE multiple since the inception of the index. Now, on the next slide, I'd like to talk about some of the important dynamics that we saw play out in Q1. And the first point here is that earnings estimate for the ROBO Index stabilized during the quarter. And that is in contrast to the continued decline that we saw in terms of earnings estimates for large equity indices as a result of a weaker economic outlook, particularly in Europe. So the earnings outlook for robotic, automation, and AI companies stopped deteriorating, and we're looking at around 8% EPS growth at the median for 2019. The main reason for the stabilization appears to be what happened in the industrial-related portions of the index. That is basically factory automation, which drives nearly 1/3 of the portfolio. And that was the pain point during much of last year. We saw slowing capital investments in the industrial world, particularly in Europe and China, where buyers of automation equipment delayed purchases in the face of rising uncertainty around trade, and that really compounded the down cycle. Orders for factory robots and other types of automation equipment declined rapidly throughout 2018. But in the last few months, it has become clear that order rates are now at or very near the bottom, and stocks have started to price that. And this is especially apparent among the Japanese members of the index, which typically have big businesses with Chinese customers. And with the China macro data now clearly improving and the U.S.-China trade negotiations hopefully nearing a conclusion, it will be interesting to watch the impact on automation stocks in the next few quarters. The best performing sectors during the quarter were consumer robotics, up 41%, and logistics and warehouse automation, up 28%, where security and 3D printing declined. And if you look at the table on this slide, you can see the dispersion in terms of returns by subsector and the benefits of diversification, which is a key characteristic of the ROBO Index. And I'd like to use the next slide to illustrate a few points regarding fundamentals. We have now an average or a median forward PE that sits just above the long-term average of 22 times. And earnings growth, as I discussed, we're looking at about 9%, 8 to 9% for 2019. In terms of some of the key contributors to performance in the sector, the first one I'd like to highlight is Ocado. Ocado was up 77% in the quarter. Ocado is a leader in automation technology for online retailing. This company has impressive solutions for the automation of logistics and distribution of grocery and consumer goods. And just 9 months after announcing a deal to supply Kroger, America's biggest supermarket chain, with its automation solutions, Ocado has now secured $1 billion deal with Marks & Spencer that will essentially put the Marks & Spencer brand on Ocado's existing online grocery business. The company also delivered better than expected results for the first quarter in terms of sales growth in the double digits, despite some issues caused by a fire at a facility in England. And next, I'd like to touch on iRobot, which was up 41% in the quarter. iRobot is the maker of the Roomba, robotic vacuum cleaner, and other automated solutions for the connected home. The company had a very strong finish to 2018, with results largely above expectations, even after raising guidance twice during the quarter. Their sales grew nearly 25% in Q4, and the company saw very strong demand for their recently launched Roomba i7, which is a high-end vacuum robot, and their margins held up despite the negative impact of tariffs on products assembled in China. And iRobot also launched a new product line, that is the Terra robotic lawn mower, a new category which could represent a market opportunity as large as the Roomba over the past decade. Remember that iRobot has sold more than 20 million Roombas over the years. Now, let's talk about some of the changes in the index that occurred in March. As you may know, we reconstitute and rebalance the ROBO Index every quarter to reflect the rapidly changing landscape of robotics, automation, and AI. And the main change last month was the inclusion of 4 Chinese companies trading on the Shenzhen Stock Exchange. Hikvision, that is based in Hangzhou, is a market leader in video analytics and machine vision. Sciocun Robotics, that's based in northeastern China, is the leader in industrial robotics. And Shenzhen Innovents is a company that does factory automation control systems and advanced manufacturing solutions. The last company I want to highlight in terms of a newcomer into the index is Blue Prism, that is based in the UK and is one of the 3 market leaders in robotic process automation, which is a new approach to automation of administrative tasks and business processes. With that, I will pass it on to Lisa and talk about some of the exciting technology trends that we're seeing in our universe.
Thank you, Jeremy. We at ROBO Global are very excited about 5G wireless rollout and the long-term vision of 5G technology combined with artificial intelligence as a key driver of digital transformation over the next decade. 5G will require critical upgrades in all areas of mobile devices, network infrastructure, and data centers for years to come. And you can see from this slide that each iteration of wireless systems has led to incredible new technological capabilities. Each of these generations has boosted the download speeds on mobile devices, enabling new data services. 5G promises to be 10 times faster than 4G, supporting data-intense applications. But what is also truly unique about 5G is that its lower levels of latency, combined with its ability to create more secure levels of services that will support for smarter, more secure enterprise environment in the manufacturing, government, and healthcare industries in previous wireless generations. Next slide. These are some areas where we expect 5G to have a major impact, starting with the virtual reality and augmented reality. They both rely on the use of headsets to transmit digitally produced images. While both of these technologies are already popular in the gaming world, their use case is rapidly expanding to other industries. For example, we anticipate that augmented reality technology will be commonly used in healthcare, enabling physicians and dentists to perform surgical procedures in a virtual environment. It is currently used in retail shopping and education sectors, and we expect that use case will continue to expand. We believe 5G will expand the realm of digital reality beyond mobile devices, with AR, VR capabilities becoming integrated into our cars, our homes, and our computers. The next slide. In smart factories, one of the strongest use cases of 5G is a potential level 5 autonomy for self-driving cars. The ability to operate autonomously in all environments all the time. It's the holy grail for automakers and something that is only possible with the assistance of 5G. Its enhanced vehicular communication services will include direct communication of signals for safety, path planning, coordinated drive, and real-time updates. 5G will deliver the bandwidth of many base stations and towers that can transmit signals around obstacles and provide the data and speed needed to achieve true autonomy. In smart factories, connected devices will create clear and concise communication across future factory floors using 5G technology. The revolution that began with industrial robots and cobots will further transform how goods of all kinds are manufactured and delivered to consumers. Smart robotic devices will be covered with advanced sensors and connected tools to be configured in almost any type of environment. And 5G will provide a processing power that enables the machine learning and connectivity to drive seamless operations. Another exciting area where 5G is poised to transform is healthcare. In March of this year, a neurosurgeon in China used 5G network to perform the world's first remote brain surgery on a patient more than 1,800 miles away. The big advantage of using 5G network for remote surgery is the reduced latency it offers. The lower the latency, the more responsive the surgical robot will be to the actions of the surgeon. 5G will also help drive enhancements in genome sequencing and genetic profiling, arming healthcare providers with molecular diagnostics and AI-powered applications to treat patients even before they're diagnosed. With all this data that will be created in healthcare, 5G networks will enable AI applications and big data analytics to accelerate clinical research and efficiently improve the drug discovery process. According to GSMA Research Group, by 2025, there will be 25 billion IoT connections versus just 9 billion today. 5G will connect billions of these devices and smart sensors to internet, and its wireless network is capable of handling massive data volume from many applications like smart home appliances, environmental sensors, drones, and healthcare monitoring devices. These are just a few examples of artificial intelligence driving the next generation of IoT that will be powered by 5G. Thank you. And I will now hand it over to Richard.
Jeremy and Lisa, thank you very much. Please do feel free to reach out to Lisa, Jeremy, and myself with any quick questions, or if you need more information. This is a regular quarterly call that we will be doing, but we would also encourage you to sign up for our newsletter, which you can access from our website. You'll see all sorts of insights, videos, articles by the ROBO Global team and our advisors there. That content includes, in particular, index member profiles, where we'll do sort of a deep dive into different index members. Lisa and I were actually fortunate enough recently to be in Belgium with one of our index members, Materialize. We actually spent the entire day touring their facilities there, meeting with the chairman, the head of technology, the finance team. So we got some really interesting views about the company. But with that, I will say thank you to all of you for joining, and we all look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.